Oh, I love life. Why don't you just say that with me? I love life, and life loves me. I'm so into life, and life is so into me. I'm interested in life. Life's interested in me. Look around the room for just a moment and see who's swimming with you in this ocean of devotion. And as you're acknowledging each other with a smile or a look or just kind of a feeling tone, be aware that we are magnifying the intention of this community, which is to be a mighty blessing on the planet at this time in human history and beyond, going beyond egocentric desires into a greater expression of what we've come to be and what we've come to share. This month, our theme is something along the lines of simply beginning. It's a new beginning. How do we begin to birth a new world? And we talked a little bit last week about the fact that as we move into prayer, as we move into meditation, we always begin by withdrawing from all conditions and circumstances where the world is concerned. That every beginning begins with no thing but a feeling, tone, and intention and an idea. Each and every one of us, being made in the image and the very likeness of God, have the capacity to create the same way that the universal presence creates and has created the multidimensional universe, the cosmos, and everything that is came out of no thing but a feeling, tone, and an idea and an intention. There was not a grain of sand, and there was not any condition whatsoever. In the beginning, God. In the beginning was the Word, the vibrational frequency, a spiritual idea, intentionality. Nothing was created without this frequency. Now, the important part to catch is that because you're made in its image and its likeness, you share that same faculty. And so your whole movement of awakening, your whole movement of success, your whole movement of becoming more and greater expressions of yourself is to begin without a condition, but to begin with an idea, begin with a feeling, begin with an intention, begin with an availability that you're feeling what you're seeking, what is seeking to emerge. You're feeling it as it's already happening in this instant. So you're not saying in substance, as people will do in misusing the law from time to time, they will say, if only this thing over here changes, then I'll be okay. Or when such and such happens in my life, then I'll be happy. And so they're placing life on the layaway plan, so to speak, saving life today to live it tomorrow in some way. And there's a misuse of the universal law and the blessing of the Spirit of God, which is always giving of itself, shining and radiating, never compromising its nature. So we begin at the beginning. In the beginning, love. In the beginning, life. In the beginning, God. In the beginning, a divine and perfect spiritual idea. And I'm beginning to feel and sense and see that which is trying to emerge in me, that which is trying to emerge as humanity, but I'm feeling that it's happening now. Bam! It begins to manifest. Bam means bless and multiply. It begins to manifest. So we are here, and on a daily basis, you're coming back to the beginning and birthing yourself anew, and we are in turn birthing a new world, beginning in our own consciousness first. Every being lives in a different world based on their awareness, based on their consciousness, based on what they're identifying with. This is why I said in the earlier service that two individuals can be standing at the same spot on the planet, but be in different worlds, having totally two different experiences based on whatever's flowing through their awareness. So you are birthing, we are collectively birthing a kind and just global society. We're collectively birthing a world of peace. We're collectively birthing a world of love and generosity and compassion and forgiveness. And it's beginning within our own soul, within our own awareness. Now, the topic of the day, it has something to do with fear, being fearless in an atmosphere of fear. I think that's a good topic for today. And when we become aware that we are surrounded by fear, there's a constant cycle bombarding us of division and hate. And the lowest common denominator of the human experience, it's a social milieu that takes place. Now, of course, as we evolve, we become aware that we're actually living, moving, and having our beingness in God. But we are imprinted by this social milieu of fear, of which we are seduced, provoked, and intimidated into. People live in a lower frequency of a hypnotic spell in which this fear takes them over. And what I want you to know today is that you can rise above and transcend it. I want you to know that there's something about you that is untouched by the fear-mongering of the world, of which, as you begin to be more conscious of who and what you are, first of all, as a spiritual being, first of all, as an untouchable, and I don't mean the Indian untouchable, that particular caste system. I'm talking about the dynamic of holding a dynamic feeling tone of that which you really are. You begin to be a place in which fear cannot reside. And as I spoke about earlier this week, you will begin to transmute the fear as you take it with you, and it transmutes itself into excitement and ultimately enthusiasm. But I want you to begin to catch that you can transcend this fear-based seeming reality that holds people in their particular grip. Say with me, if you will, I am willing to transcend fear as my mode of being in the world. And so, one, you are coming through meditation, primarily through meditation and affirmative prayer, touching who and what you really are. That's your first movement. Second movement is that you become aware of what is called the Job effect. Job said, in substance, I am experiencing my worst fear. My worst fear has come upon to me. In other words, he had so much energy in what he did not want to experience. His friends and family, his family becoming sick, his body becoming totally full to overflowing with disease and discomfort. He says, oh my God, I'm experiencing my worst fear. So we must look in and upon ourselves and notice what our worst fears are and see if we are contaminating our mind by fueling those worst fears with energy. The law itself is not going to pick and choose what energetic feeling tones and emotionality and thoughts it's going to manifest. It's just going to embrace whatever it is that carries your most energy. What you fear, what you cherish, what you hate, carries a lot of emotional dynamic there. So you want to be aware of your worst fears. And then thirdly, which is very important, most important actually, you want to hear that scripture that says in substance that love casts out all fear. In love, there is no fear. Perfect love casts out fear. Now, when in fact we are in love, we are loving the Spirit of the living God. We are loving the potential within ourselves, and we're beginning to embrace it. We're beginning to celebrate it. We're beginning to live it. We're beginning to express it. We're beginning to shine it. There's no frequency of fear there. Fear is a frequency. There's no frequency of fear there. Perfect love casts out all fear. How do we get there? Of course, we talked about meditation, we talked about prayer, but there is something called, what I call the great pirate. The great pirate is that which steals your attention. Another name for great pirate is entertainment. Now, entertainment can be a cycle of endless movies, TVs, social media, and other diversions which keep our focus external into a realm of excitement in which we are projecting the good and the excellence and the brilliance and the greatness that lies within us all. We temporarily go into a field of entertainment and we project all of that good onto another individual or a group or somebody dunking a basketball, wherever the case may be, and then we go on in our life. Now, we are to use the great pirate on our own behalf. And that is when we're in the entertainment frequency. We're looking at something great. At that particular moment, we are to say to ourselves, how can I unleash my own greatness? In other words, we're to use that moment of inspiration to ask, how can I unleash my own greatness? And then we understand that when the eye is single, the body is full of light. That when there is a focus on the unleashing of greatness, we no longer are passive consumers, we are now active creators. When you don't ask that question, you're just taking it all in. Ooh, that's sweet, that's wonderful, he did a nice song, that's beautiful. But we don't ask ourselves, how can I unleash my own greatness? I'm looking at something great here. I'm feeling something great. How can I unleash my own greatness? Now I have moved from just a passive consumer to an active creator. And then I embellish that question by saying, what is it that I can contribute from this moment? This is very important. What is it that I can contribute from this moment? The moment you ask, what can I contribute, you break free from the bond of egotistic desire of something out there. And now you're asking, how can I contribute from this feeling tone of inspiration, of the entertainment that you are seeing? And now that dynamic is love. At the moment you're asking, how can I activate my greatness and how can I contribute? You're now in the feeling tone of God. God is a giver. God is contributing. God is radiating. God is expressing. Love, a total act of love is God totally loves without any sense of withhold. Now you're coming into the dynamic of a feeling tone of love, and perfect love casts out all fear. You're not a passive consumer. You are an active creator, so that you're not caught in the undertow of the atmosphere of fear that sweeps through the nation, nefarious. Some of it is malicious hypnotism. Some of it is just how individuals are imprinted. But it is not for those who are making the journey to awakening and enlightenment. You are lifting yourself above that vibration and frequency until you're absolutely, as we began this morning's talk, as we began with, I love life, life loves me, I'm really into life. Life is really into me. You're lifting your vibration and frequency. And then you become aware that when the headlines are screaming all kinds of things going on, your question becomes this: how can I answer the call of this societal prayer that when we see something egregious happening on the planet, that for us is a call for compassion. It's a call for love. It's a call for peace. And we begin, as I've said many years ago, we turn the headlines into heartlines. And we begin to use the headlines of the day not to feel trapped into, oh my God, the world is going to hell in a handbasket. That must be a big handbasket. No. Instead of being trapped, we're now activating our strength, our vitality, our vigor. We're now activating the greatness within us. We're now activating our real nature and being. We're not a victim to what's going on. We're now saying, I just read this thing. There was an assassination attempt. I just read this thing. The rainforests are disappearing. I just read this thing. Somebody's been shot again at a school, whatever the case it may be. You can begin to say in substance what is needed there. And then you bring it in prayer and in word. And so you're not just consuming negativity, you're actually rising up in love and becoming a different frequency that actually changes the world, because your frequency is your currency, and the universal law matches the frequency that you're holding. So as millions and millions and millions and millions and more people come into asking the right question, vibrating at a higher level, we become the harbingers of peace by changing the world and the fabric of the world energetically, because we're not being seduced or provoked or intimidated into the frequencies of life that would deem to be called separation. Not us, not here, not now. And then you become aware of this. It's something that I call unconscious symptom choice. In other words, what sweeps through this sea of humanity is that people have an unconscious choice of the symptoms they're going to experience based on whatever is fashionable at any particular period of time. You look over history over the last 10, 20 years, whenever something was happening and it got played in the news, all of a sudden everybody got those symptoms because it was fashionable. Flu, COVID, it was fashionable. Hysteria, mental illness, it becomes a fashionable thing. And then people who aren't protecting their consciousness have a tendency to unconsciously choose a symptom to manifest their fear. I was reading an article, there's so many people, as an example, recently, went to the hospital with COVID symptoms, but didn't have COVID. And we found out with a lot of different diseases. They unconsciously chose a symptom that was popular. Metaphysicians are individuals. I'm not saying metaphysicians don't get sick. I'm not saying they don't have challenges. I'm not saying any of that. But for a good part, they're allowing themselves to grow into a level of an immunity for what's happening on a popular scale. It's because it's popular, you don't have to catch it. And so, this perfect love that casts out all fear comes from no longer just consuming, but being a creator. No longer being pulled under the onslaught of whatever's going on in the world. But you're asking, how can I contribute? What is needed here? Now, I want to go back to this point. When you ask what is needed here, the practitioners in the community know very often what they need to do is to go into prayer. And prayer is not just anemic bunch of words. Prayer is a state of consciousness where one begins to feel that the presence of God is everywhere, even in the midst of challenges that are going on in the world, that there's no spot where God is not, you see? And so you begin to ask that question, what's needed here? What's needed here? And what happens is the potential, the unlimited potential of your own being begins to be activated. And once that begins to be activated, you will find your way to contribute. It might be an act of kindness. It might be a prayer. It might be your mind will start to catch how you can contribute to the betterment of our world. And then that is the frequency of love. And you'll discover that it is very difficult for love to occupy someone that is too busy doing good. Too busy praying, too busy asking the right questions, you see. If you just lie dormant and become a consumer of whatever's going on in the world, and you're not asking the right questions, how can I contribute what is needed here? Then you're just picking up the social milieu of negativity, and you find yourself in fear and worry about what's going to happen. And then as your emotions get in contact with that, you will accidentally activate the Job factor, and you will say to yourself at some point, what I feared most came upon me. And even if you don't say that, because so often people's worst fears don't actually come into manifestation, but their body temple doesn't know the difference. They still outpicture a level of anxiety or mental emotional terror or immune system not working quite properly, or the coherence of the brain not quite together. They'll still manifest their worst fear, but differently. Are you following what I'm saying? So, catch this. You are an unlimited, boundless being. That's what you are. You're unlimited and boundless. You have a conditioned self. A self that's been imprinted by time and space experiences, interpretation of experiences. There's things that have occurred. There's people that have died. There's grieving. There's pain. There's an over acceptance of what other people might be thinking about. All of that's going on. It's imprinting. It's imprinting. It's imprinting. It's creating a conditioned self, and that conditioned self is evoking the law based on the condition of that conditioned self. And then there is your unbounded, limitless self, your real self. This is covering up this. This limited conditioned self is covering up this. And then what happens is you think you're this. This is who you think you are. Prayer, meditation allows you to have an insight, an inkling. I'm more than I thought I was. I'm not what's happened to me. I'm not what they said about me. I'm not even what I'm saying about myself. You have little insights, little pinprick insights into your unconditioned self. And then with continued practice, you start to normalize a different vibration. You will seem a bit weird to people, particularly people you've been running with all the time, because you won't be as reactive all the time. You know, certain things, it's just you'll kind of change, your behavior will change, your speech will change, your conversation will change. Sometimes your friends will change, you know, but your vibration will change. And as the reading indicated, there will be moments in which there will be wailing and gnashing of teeth where you'll be trying to cling on to who you used to be. You got to protect it. I know how to operate from this level. I got my defense mechanisms. Think about the countries that keep piling all of this money into the greater defense, other countries, including our own here in America, and not activating the potential for the evolution of the species through communion and collaboration, still using all of this energy to build more bombs to defend oneself, rather than to use same amount of money to collaborate, to make peace, etc., etc., etc. It's an old paradigm, but you have to check ourselves to see if you're living in it yourself individually. Is your defense mechanism bigger than your loving intention? You see. Is your coping mechanism bigger than your desire to be of service? When the real self begins to wake up, or you begin to wake up to the real self, you find that your desire to be of service, your desire to ask what's needed here, your desire to say, oh, there's greatness here. Oh, I'm seeing this beautiful orchestra. I'm seeing this beautiful play. I'm seeing this, that's a great movie. Oh, my God, it was so put together so well. It was a great story, great acting. Oh, beautiful, entertainment, beautiful. But instead of just consuming, it's like, that's inspiring me. That's inspiring. I'm inspired. I'm inspired. Where am I to contribute? Where am I to contribute in my own life? You see, perfect love casts out fear. The Job effect dissolves. I have insights into my real self. With spiritual practice, you hear this all the time from up here, whoever's speaking. It's a level of practice, practice, practice. As the gentleman said in New York, he asked the individual, you know this story, asked the person, how do I get to Carnegie Hall? And he said, practice, practice, practice. You practice, you practice, you practice. It yields insight. And then you're singing, I'm changed. God is first in my life. You're singing from a whole new place. And now, I can see it. Now, your generosity of spirit, your desire to ask what's needed here, how can I contribute? You are now assisting in birthing a new world. The ego desires are dissolving, and your seemingly little act carries the power of the infinite and reverberates through the entire world. That seeming little act with that consciousness of unity makes a difference. You're here to wake up to that. So from the beginning, very quickly. New beginnings begins with nothing. But an idea, a feeling tone, and an energy of plenitude and abundance. This is how God birthed everything out of itself. The feeling tone of bliss and ecstasy, and so much overjoy that it had to burst into multidimensional universes and living biology and all of nature and everything that manifested out of plenitude and abundance. You have to start there. Say, I live in a field of abundance. I live in a field of infinite potential, infinite possibilities. This is my beginning. I live, move, and have my beingness in love. I'm untouched by the atmosphere of fear. I use the great pirate to no longer steal my focus, but to activate my own potential. I'm activating greatness today. I'm activating contribution today because I've got so much to give. I've got so much love. I've got so much peace, creativity, joy, power. Oh, I've got so much to give. I'm living in a field of love. Perfect love casts out all fear. And the only symptoms I choose, health, vitality, vigor, regeneration, restoration, renewal, beauty. I can't help but be beautiful. And as I was saying earlier with Victor Dickerson, quoting that old, what's his name? Joe Namath. Who said that? Me. You were there. Karen was there too. Joe Namath used to say, I'm getting better looking every day and I can't wait till tomorrow. Listen. I want you to be able to say, woo, I'm becoming more joyful every day. I can't wait till tomorrow. I'm becoming more prosperous every day. I can't wait till tomorrow. I'm getting healthier every day. I can't wait till tomorrow. Everything is working together for my good. And it's all happening right now. Now. Feel that. Now, just think for a moment of this. I just want you to think for a moment at any time in your life where let's use this word for a moment, where you overcame something. Your back was against the wall. You didn't think it was going to work out or whatever. You overcame it. You're still here, so obviously. Think of any time in your life where there was something that emerged from you that was beautiful, was wonderful, even beyond what you planned. Can you catch that? Yeah. Okay, feel that energy. Now, everyone stand up. Just for those who can, stand up for a moment. And just say, the power within me is greater than the power in the seeming world. The power within me is greater than the power in the seeming world. I can overcome anything. Now feel the feeling of that overcoming, and give everyone a standing ovation. You did it. You did it. Yes, you did it. You're doing it. You're still here. You're doing it. This is a new beginning. Say, this is a new beginning. We're just getting started. This is a new beginning. We're just getting started. I have already overcome. And I'm continuing to glow. Feel that. Feel that expansion. You don't feel any fear, do you? No. And nothing has changed in the world yet. But something has changed on the planet. Because now we have a small group of people right here vibrating at the possibility. We're creating something new from this feeling tone of all needs met. It's happening now. Let's begin this prayerful moment standing up, and then I'll tell you to sit down. Just take a stand. Have your back straight, not erect, but not rigid. Just let you come into a good posture. Just feel like someone you really, 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 really love and respect that has walked into the room, and you're just standing up so straight and tall. We enter into this prayerful moment with a deep sense of gratitude right now. Oh, I'm so thankful, I'm so grateful, I'm so appreciative for life itself. Capital L life, the life that is an undifferentiated wholeness. The life that we can call the presence of God, the presence of love and beauty and intelligence. Oh, this life that is forever and forever and forever. That life is our life. Our life is its life. For there's only one life, and that life is our life right now. Say, oh, that's my life. That's my life. And this one life, oh, we begin to recognize this life everywhere. Oh, life, ooh, life is teeming with itself. Ooh, it's glittering. It's shining everywhere. Life is happening everywhere. And we're one with it. Say, I'm one with all life. And in this consciousness of oneness, I have the privilege and the honor to speak the word, the vibrational frequency of something that's already done. It's contained within this word, just like a seed carries the full expression of the oak tree. That acorn carries it all. It carries it all. The energy and the information is already there, planted in the soil. It's already there. It unfolds. I'm speaking a word here to seed, vibrational seed that carries everything. I speak it for each and every one of us today. In this seed is harmonizing prosperity. In this seed is divine wholeness and well-being. In this seed is a genius code. There is something about each and every one of us that is unique, never to be repeated, of which we are to activate and express. I speak the word knowing that it's now being activated. The contribution is being made. The question, what is needed here, is being activated within all of us. It's a love affair with life. Oh, I'm speaking the word, the vibrational frequency. It's an idea. Did you guys see that? Did you see it? Yes. The word is spoken. Whew. Whew. Feel in this moment that all of your prayers and everything that your soul really has wanted, feel in this moment that it's happening right now. Don't wait. Feel it that it's happening right now. Just feel it. For yourself, for your family, for your friends, for this community. Feel that it's happening right now. You may be seated. You can be seated for a moment. As I just allow the word to wash over us. The word of love and peace and harmony and wholeness to wash over us. That peace that passes human understanding. We just can't understand it. It doesn't make sense sometimes. Human sense. Help them feel it, Jason. Give them a strong feeling tone. You can keep your eyes closed and you can just feel the tonal quality.
I was inside your soul the day that you appeared. My love contained your heart.
Yeah.
Oh, but when you remember me, this earth we walk upon, it's a holy. The breath you breathe is mine. I'm loving you. Oh, but will you remember me when the river's rising and the seas are not calm, and the peace you felt on yesterday today nowhere to be found, and you pray to be free and for your burdens to subside. Let me tell you, just hold on, I'm the answer, and pray till you realize,
It's okay, you can give him some love. We're going to borrow your consciousness for just a moment as we continue to turn within, extracting our attention from the world of effects.